Coming up on today's show, could Jamal Adams be headed to the arch-rival San Francisco 49ers? We have quite an update to get to on that front in just a bit. Also, DK Metcalf, trade talks about him and the Pittsburgh Steelers reuniting with Russell Wilson out east. How possible is that? We'll dive in and discuss that possibility coming up in just a matter of moments. I am the somewhat capable host, Tyler Jones, here with you. Thanks for joining us here on Seahawks Today. A little challenge for the 12s to begin today's show. 49ers report with our friend/enemy, frenemy of the show, Chase Sr. They got 500 comments on a video last week, and Chase said there is no way that you guys could do that on Seahawks Today. And I said, the 12s will prove you wrong right here and right now. Can we beat their recent comment record? Can we get over 500 comments on today's video? Make it happen. Spam the chat. Get those F-Fran Sands in there, and we'll get started with today's show. According to a new report, the San Francisco 49ers are interested in signing former Seahawks safety Jamal Adams, and this news comes while the Seahawks have remained in contact with Jamal Adams about potentially bringing him back, but in a different role. Here's more from the Seattle Times. Sources said the San Francisco 49ers are one of a handful of teams who have kept in touch with Adams, so the Seahawks could have some competition for the former All-Pro safety, who is still just 28 years old. Any contract for Adams would obviously be nowhere near as costly as his previous deal, a 4-year pact signed in August 2021 that was due to pay him $72 million. As far as I'm concerned, if the San Francisco 49ers want Jamal Adams, take him. He is all yours. You can have him. Because the truth of the matter is this, folks. Some people aren't going to want to admit this, but this is the harsh, true reality. Jamal Adams is damaged goods. Okay? Jamal Adams was a liability in 2023. He's been extremely injury prone. And then on top of that, I have questions about Jamal Adams' character. We saw the rumors about him quitting on the team, not showing up to the Monday night game against the Philadelphia Eagles. We know about him calling out that New York Jets reporter and calling his wife ugly and all that. I just don't want anything to do with Jamal Adams. And if the San Francisco 49ers want to take on that problem, by all means, go ahead. He's yours. Now, John Schneider has talked about the possibility of bringing him back, but as an off-ball linebacker in the Seahawks defense, which would be different from the role he previously had in Seattle as a starting safety. Remember this from Schneider? This was just a few weeks ago. Maybe he's a linebacker. Maybe that better serves what he does well. When we acquired him, that's what we were thinking. He was a linebacker. So, what do you guys think? I'm very curious. What would you rather see? Would you rather the Seahawks go ahead and pay the money to bring Jamal Adams back and move him to linebacker? Or would you rather see him go bye-bye and end up with the arch-rival San Francisco 49ers? What would you rather see? Would you rather him be a Seahawk or be the Niners' problem? Let me know in our pinned comment today. Type C for Seahawks, type SF for 49ers, or you can type F San Fran. That works too. Let me know in the comment section there. More to come on Jamal Adams and his potential fit with Seattle and how this could happen, as well as what's going on in San Francisco in just a moment. But first, we need your help. We are getting very, very close to 52,000 subscribers here on Seattle Seahawks Today, as we are just over 100 away from reaching that next milestone, 114 to be exact. We're talking about your Seattle Seahawks each and every day on Seahawks Today with daily news and rumors, live shows on Wednesdays. Just because the draft is over doesn't mean we're going anywhere. We're talking rookie mini camps, OTAs, counting you down to training camp and more. We are your Seahawks offseason headquarters here on Seahawks Today. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. Now, personally, if we're talking about Jamal Adams as a linebacker, I think Seattle's linebacker room is more than okay. I think it's just fine. Personally, I want to wipe my hands clean of Jamal Adams. I don't want anything to do with Jamal Adams. I am ready to move on and say sayonara with Jamal Adams as far as I'm concerned. I don't want him a part of this. I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And he's kind of left a lot to be desired over the last couple of years anyway. So for me, I'll let him go to San Francisco or go elsewhere. I'd rather roll with Terrell Dodson and Jerome Baker, see what I got in my rookie night out of UTEP, and let this thing roll as is. Because here's the bottom line. You look at Jamal Adams, even when he's been on the football field, he has been a liability in particular when it comes to coverage. And what has Mike Macdonald emphasized when it comes to the Seattle Seahawks in this new linebacker room, comparably speaking, to what we saw in the previous regime with Bobby Wagner and Jordan Brooks and others, is coverage linebackers. You got to cover well if you're going to be a linebacker in this Seahawks defense. Jamal Adams, I mean, he can't cover anything for that matter. Now, the 49ers into things, where this gets interesting is, they don't really need Jamal Adams either. The Niners had one of the best defenses in football. They've already invested in the linebacker position, so it doesn't really make sense for San Francisco. I have a theory here. You might call this a deep state conspiracy theory, but here's what I think is actually happening. I think the San Francisco 49ers are playing mind games with John Schneider and the Seahawks. I don't really think John Lynch is going to sign Jamal Adams and bring him to San Francisco either. I think they're trying to drive up the cost, trying to make Jamal Adams more expensive for Seattle if they want to bring him back. I don't really think that San Francisco is that interested. I would be surprised if he ends up with San Fran when it's all said and done, as far as I'm concerned. Jamal's sitting out there. He's talking to teams. But if it's San Fran, that would be a bit of a shocker. Jamal Adams, his numbers last year, nothing to write home about. 48 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 2 pass breakups in 9 games played. And you can see the last 4 years has not even come close to sniffing a full 16-game campaign. Should the Seahawks sign Jamal Adams? What do you think? Type HY for hell yes, HN for hell no. Let us know in the comments section below if the Seahawks should sign Jamal Adams back or not. A lot of excitement about the Seahawks' newest rookie. That is Byron Murphy, who is now in Seattle. And we have his jerseys on sale now as well at chatsports.com/Murphy. We have the home jerseys. We also have the road whites and more. We got men's jerseys, women's jerseys, something for everybody. And when he gets his number and all that, we'll have the jersey with the number for you as well. So go ahead and get yours today. Chatsports.com/Murphy is where you can get your Byron Murphy jerseys. These things are going quick, folks. So jump on it now. Get yours today. Chatsports.com/Murphy. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. DK Metcalf, could he be on his way to Pittsburgh? According to a new report, the Steelers tried to trade for DK Metcalf during the NFL draft. Here's more from NFL reporter Benjamin Albright. The Steelers, they called about Ayuk and Sutton and have been rebuffed, at least with opening talks. Called about DK. I don't believe a trade would get done until after June 1st, if one got done at all. I know that the Steelers have been calling around half a dozen teams, and they've been rejected by 2 teams. Now, personally, I don't think that DK is getting traded. I don't see that happening. I don't think the Steelers are getting him. I don't think anyone else is getting DK Metcalf for that matter. I would be shocked if that were the case. And even if it does, it's not happening right now. I can tell you that much. With the way the contract situation works out for DK Metcalf, if the Seahawks were to move on, it doesn't make financial sense to do a trade at this time of year. This would have to be something that at the earliest would be June 1st. Field Goals explained more accordingly. Here's more from SB Nation saying the following. Dealing Metcalf after June 1 would save the Seahawks $17 million in cap space, with DK's contract set to expire at the end of 2025. If If a trade happens before June 1, then they save $9.5 million, but incur $22.5 million in dead money over the final 2 seasons. Now, I think the best case scenario trade for the Seahawks, realistically speaking, if you are saying to yourselves, what could we absolutely, hope for in the best situation for a DK trade? You would be hoping to get a first and a fourth. Is that likely to happen? Probably not. That would be holding the Steelers at ransom if you were to get that type of deal. That's what you'd be hoping for. If you decide tomorrow you're moving on from DK, that's what you're believing that you would at least try to get. And to me, I'd rather just hang on to DK. I understand the frustrations. That DK gets called for more personal foul penalties than any player in the National Football League. And that DK has his issues where he lets his anger, lets his emotions get in the way sometimes. But I'm telling you, folks, there's still a whole lot more good than bad that comes with DK Metcalf. I still want him on my team, and I'm not trying to trade to get a first or fourth round pick as far as this goes. And let me explain more in just a minute, but let's ask you guys here real quick. I want to know, should the Seahawks trade DK Metcalf or not? What do you guys think of this possibility? Y for yes, N for no. Should Seattle trade DK or not? Weigh in the comments section and let us know if you think it's time to move on from the Seahawks wide receiver. Now, when it comes to DK Metcalf, you can see these statistics. The statistics have been very solid the last several seasons with over 1,100 yards, close to 17 yards of reception, 8 touchdowns last year. DK is right in the prime of his career. And for the Seahawks, I think you need to capitalize on his prime years right now. Look, if we're being frank, Tyler Lockett, this is probably his last season in Seattle, at least the way his contract is structured anyway. It doesn't seem likely that the Seahawks would bring him back next year. If I'm Seattle, I have to capitalize on getting the most out of my receiver room right now in this moment. JSN going into year 2. Tyler Lockett at the very end. DK in his prime. This is a chance to take advantage of what you got and get the most out of it. I'm keeping DK around. I'm not trading for that. The Seahawks are not rebuilding right now. They're trying to take the next step forward in being a playoff caliber team again. I'm not interested. Thanks for watching this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. If you made it to the end of the video, spam real one in the comments section. We certainly would appreciate it. And we shall see you next time right here on Seattle Seahawks Today.